guys, it's Lexi Snyder with Inventive Events, and welcome to another wedding consultation. Today, we're going to be talking about your wedding layout. Now, a lot of our clients ask, what is a layout and why is it important? A layout is basically a diagram of the space that you're going to be hosting either your ceremony and or your reception in. It's going to serve as a vital communication tool for all your vendors so that way they know how to effectively navigate in the event on the day of. It's going to illustrate places like where chairs and tables go, things like where your placement, your decor is going to be placed, as well as even forecast traffic flow patterns. So you might ask yourself, who needs this? The vendors that are known to benefit from this layout are those that are going to be your venue, especially if they include setup in your rental, but also your linens, for which tables have which linens, your catering as well, to know how to again effectively navigate in the environment on the day of, and also those that are known to benefit are like DJ, cake, and photographer, especially cake and DJ, so that way they know which tables to set up when they arrive. So one less thing you have to worry about if you provide them that layout ahead of time. So one might ask, how do I start? A floor plan is a bird's eye view of the room. When you're ready to begin drafting your layout, you'll want to start with your venue first. If they have a floor plan already created for you to begin the drafting, you're going to want to know some key elements first. Things such as the measurements of the walls, any architectural elements such as archways or columns, and especially the placement of doors and windows. If you're in the unfortunate circumstance that the venue doesn't already have a floor plan for you to begin drafting on, then you might want to draft a floor plan up on your own, and I have listed some tools in the video's description that I personally use myself when this arises. So scaling might be a new term for some of us, and it's one of the most important factors that come into play when drafting an accurate layout. You're going to want to use what's called a scaled ratio, and in summary, it's going to translate a known distance of the room to a known distance on the layout. So for example, I'm just throwing out some numbers. So let's say you have 4 feet, linear feet for your room, and you could equate it to a ½ an inch on your layout. It's going to allow you to accurately provide a visual representation of the room on ideally one sheet of paper. So what are some of the considerations when drafting a layout? Before submitting a layout to the applicable vendors that are going to need it, you're not going to want to just put thought into the placement of tables and chairs, but also be mindful of traffic flow patterns. Heavy traffic flow pattern areas, what I commonly consider would be the bar, any catering, like if you have a buffet line, but also activities, maybe a photo booth or a snow cone machine. I mean, just all the variety of things that could create a line. Allow enough navigating room between the tables for any wait staff and vendors, and don't forget about consideration for your specialty tables. And when you're drafting your layout, also about the space that any catering or entertainment may need. So what if you have multiple sites for your event? Will you need multiple layouts? My answer is this: anytime you have a relatively large amount of people that are congregating for any sort of time frame in an area, you'll want to consider a layout. Your event will need multiple layouts if you have multiple sites for any sort of segment. So if you have the ceremony at one place and a reception at another, consider a layout for both. There are going to be times whenever your one-sided event, meaning your ceremony and reception takes place in one area, but it's going to require a room flip. A room flip is whenever you take one space and you have it formatted to a layout in one time frame, and then in your timeline you have some time to reformat it to another layout. You also may need multiple layouts for a one-sided event if you're having your event outdoors. You're going to need what's called a rain plan. This is whenever you decide another location on site to host your event in the case of bad weather. right, and that's it for now. We'll see you at our next consultation. And in the meantime, don't forget to check us out at www.inventiveeventshouston.com.